You can use your mouth to say, okay, you will say this, you will say this, you will say this, you will show this one will die. That in itself is a structure, it's a script, but we can call it an audible script. But the one we use in filmmaking is the one we write, and that's why we call it script writing. So it is important to get experience, because having the experience on how to write a script will help you do better script writing.
And to add to that, now the methodology for writing scripts has also changed. There are formats. What I will describe, there are styles in writing scripts. Not that we're in digital age. You have different way of writing scripts. So you have different names, like final cuts and
sentence
and menu. So to give you a guide on how software that will help you guide you on how you can properly arrange your story. And as you are young now, you can start writing your own stories in your journal. And you are writing very small. And write your own story, create it, write in your small journal, and before the term ends, you see that you have written a full book. Thank you. Your question, sir.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to discuss our panelists. I want us to a little bit go back to what our brother last week.
You see, the story we tell, the effect might not be immediate, but with time, like the saying goes that a drop of water makes a mighty ocean, bit by bit, it becomes big. I was in Mali a few years back, and it's a French-speaking country, no English. So, long story short, after what we went to the club, and I met a very beautiful lady. We have an interpreter, like a lady who helps us translate, talk to. So I saw a girl. We were both looking at each other, but language barrier. So I told her, please, I like this girl, get me a number. So when I want to call her, I called the interpreter to pass my message. So after that night, the next day, I put a call across through the interpreter. And I kept saying, come and see me in the apartment, come around. And she kept declining. I was now wondering, because the chemistry was really good, until I said I was in Nigeria. And at the end of it, to cut the story short, the reason she didn't come for another date or to meet me was because she said she knows that Nigerians used to kill people. I said, how? Why? How did you know about this? He said, it's in Nollywood. I am not telling you this, I'm telling you myself, experience. I said, oh. So I was opportune to watch a movie there. It's a Nigerian movie, but they translate the language to French. So I was like, oh. Another time, that same region, I was in Gambia, sir. I went to a restaurant, there's a place called Q City. I was ordering something. It's an English-speaking place. Sir, a very advanced man, that is, he should be in his 50s or late 50s, walked up to me and said, please, young man, can you help me? Teach me how to download from YouTube. You know, when you see any clip, you could just download. There's some clips you could download. So I picked up the phone from him, and then I saw it was a Nigerian movie. Sir, that man is not a Nigerian, but he's Gambian. He was downloading. In fact, all what he watches in his phone was all Nigerian movies. He was downloading it. And trust me, the ideology of that man about Nigeria will first come from the movies he sees. Because we tell stories that affect our day-to-day lives. So this brings me back to what he said, which is true. Sir, I was opportune to open a Yahoo Mail account, but I didn't chat with any foreigners. But whether we like it or not, no matter how much we paint the picture, the stories we tell goes a long way to impact, shaping the mind of people. It might not capture 100. If we're all seated here and you keep showing something here on the screen, with time, a few percent of those people who are here will be influenced by what they see. So in this light, I would want us as Nollywood to be intentional about what we tell. Because outside the fact that we want to make money, we want to tell stories, we are shaping the mind of people. We are selling a perspective about who we are to outsiders. Thank you so much.
Let me quickly jump on it. But I think if you listen very well, he explained that question very well. You know, and that is why we also have the National Film and Censors Board that will censor some particular film rated for a particular category. He also mentioned too, as much as film is, there's a word you use, what will I call it now? Affecting, positively or negatively, the society is also affecting the creation of film. People that have ideas about writing film or building film do not have those ideas on empty ground. It comes from their experiences. It comes from the information within the society. So it is a two-edged influence.
I think what I want to say about that is he's very right about what he said. Now, I was expecting that we would say, for example, things like that can be made easier when government intentionally also create grants for filmmakers who can project Nigeria in that light. Now, I'm saying this because of what happens in UK, Canada, and some other countries. Now, they have grants for in different areas that has to do with the way they want you to understand their culture. So, in watching those films, without knowing it, they are shaping your mindset. But you know, as filmmakers here in Nigeria, we use our money. We scout for our money. We make our films. We look at the audience. What would they easily go for? Go and shoot any cartoon that has to show morality in totality. Some people will be sleeping in the cinema. Because why? You know, it's something that they're not used to. So that's why sometimes you see that when a particular genre of story catches the audience, or the audience accepts it, you begin to see outflow of such storylines in different dimensions. And without our knowing it, we don't also know that we are unintentionally demarketing our country. Because you go to some places, they will tell you that Boko Haram people, you go to some places, they call you ritualists. That Nigerians are very rich because we do rituals. I met a friend who came here, worked here in Benin City from Abidjan. It was when he was working, he was being paid 25 or 20,000 naira then. And from that money, when Nigerian money had value, he was able to train his family back home, sponsor them in their university. He said it was when he came to Nigeria to work, he now knew that Nigerians don't use human beings to make money. It's just that Nigeria had money. When he changes the money, he has so much money in his eyes. He was an editor. So I think it has to do with mindset and how the country tend to view or create a avenue to do that. They don't. Many countries don't. Trust me, many African countries rely on Nigerian films.
Do you think it is only in Nigerian film that they kill people? You see, I'm a very realistic person. I'm not in the business of sugarcoating matter. Look, you said it all when you said, if the government provides grant to make a film for propaganda's sake, we will do it. Simple. It's called image laundering. Don't tell me what to use my money to produce. For it, man. If you want me to do it, give me the money. If you are not giving me the money, allow me to make a film that will sell and give me back my money. The essence of making a film is to make more film. If I make a film 100 million, when you come to say, oh wow, this is a moralistic film, and it doesn't sell, are you going to give me back the 100 million? We just sit down and look at Nollywood and we think, are we fools? This money is coming from somebody's pocket. He has to do everything to return it. Return on investment primarily is show business. It's not just the show. There's a business angle to it. And I must think and look for what people want and give it to them more and make my money. But if you now want me to be intentional, sir, I am not a documentary filmmaker. I'm a feature commercial filmmaker. I'll make film that will make the commercial value right. And any topic that interests the audience, I will make the film. If the government is now interested, there's an agency of government called National Orientation Agency. How much is their budget? What are they doing with Nollywood with it? Exactly. Let them give us money. We will make a film for National Orientation Agency. We will make films that will export the image of the country. So let's be realistic. Take back a seat. We bash Nollywood a lot. Nollywood is the only industry in Nigeria that was built at the back of individual funding. And not just individual funding. We've done it consistently. And now everybody is talking Nollywood. At the back of people losing their money. 2024, I spent close to 25 million making my own personal films. I got broke. So if tomorrow I see a topic that will make me back that money in one film, even if it is to put something you don't like on screen, I'll do it. True. Because I want my money back. So it's easy when it's not paying you. We like to compare Nollywood and Hollywood. How many of you have compared Nigerian NEPA and American Lights? How many of you compare Nigerian Custom and American Custom? How many of you compare Nigerian leadership, Nigerian police and American police? We only compare Nollywood and everybody else. So please, if we're going to be realistic and not moralistic, let's be realistic. Or Papel. They rolled out hundreds of millions, and Papel was able to do a film that projected the image of our Air Force in a bright light. I took that film to Greece, in Europe. When people finished watching it, they were like, wow, Nigerians have this kind of Air Force? We said, yes. That is the job of the government. Give us the money, we will make it. Thank you.
Now, you see...
Okay, sorry. See, the truth is very clear. But we must be very truthful to ourselves. Like my boss said, if you know you want to do film for money, boss, let me ask you one question. How many times have you gone to a cinema to watch a film that was shot by a Catholic church or a Redeemed church? Eh? Now, Adeboye Oyedepo Abi, they are about some of the biggest men of God in this country, true of us. The followers of Davido and the followers of Wizkid and the followers of Oyedepo, which one is more? Show that this church member, they follow Davido. How many they follow their papa? So sometimes you don't, how people think is not your business. Honestly, as a filmmaker, I'm a cinematographer, I'm the state chairman. Boss, I'm a farmer as we speak. Do you know what I found now? Because farming gives me more money than film. Do you think if I'm making the kind of money I make from farm, if I'm making it in film, do you think I'm going to totally leave film and almost post all my life in farming? No. But people go chop. I don't know if you understand. I was teaching people yesterday about the business of cinematography. If you're doing anything and there's no business attached to it, even some of these, our orphanage, now business. Yes. And sometimes, a lot of people goes to church. Almost everybody here will be Christian, true or false. To accept Christ is easy, but you buy Bible. Abi? You buy Bible. But that means even that Bible you are reading, even if you are not buying it with your money, they'll tell you there are some churches that say if a sponsored Bible, somebody paid for it already, they start sharing it. To produce that Bible, not be newspaper. It's money. So if we have what it takes, it's Nollywood. Today, the biggest industry in Nigeria is about the oil industry. Do you know how much money Nigeria government pump into the oil industry? Till today, are we not suffering from this same oil? First, we own this oil. Our government is pumping our natural resources in it and our commonwealth. Yet, nothing is coming out. The Nollywood, where some of us, they manage, they build. He just told you he lost 25 million last year. Which politician lost 25 million last year to the growth of Nigeria? You know they. So we should, when we try, no, we not to take them on hard on us. We they try, but we will do better.
Now, if you remember, I think under Buhari's regime, when they tried to repackage Nigeria, if you remember, they came with one slogan then.
Rebranding.
Good people, great nation. Good thing. Yes. Was it good luck?
Yeah, good luck.
Great nation.
Yes. Good thing. But you see, what would have made that sell all over the world would have been when they parted with some money as grants to filmmakers. Any filmmaker that can come up with a good story that will portray Nigeria in that light, this is the money for that. And trust me, many filmmakers who in their mind believe that I don't believe we are great or we are good people, they will not apply for the grant. While many will apply for it. Are you following what I'm saying? That is the way it is, even abroad, everywhere. Grants are there. But if you don't align with the theme of that grant or the policy of that grant, you won't get it. That's the way it is. And that's why Nigeria is among countries cut off from many grants. But you know that we are like chameleon. We can all change to be Muslims just to get a grant and shoot film for Muslim and still go our way. You follow what I'm saying? So these are part of the things. So, like they rightly said, like he said, the man that handled the cinematography class, film is show business. It's called show business. That is a show, and there's a business of the show. And that business of the show is what many of these filmmakers had to get their money back. But the reaction you got are from persons who were more concerned about the show. And they don't even do more research to find out if those things were true. You understand what I'm saying now? And in America, for example, not until these people flew their planes into the World Trade Center, many people believe that if we see Nigerians say that America, we fly, if mosquito want enter America, you don't see them, you don't catch them since. But Americans were there until those things happened. You know, yes. I will
even use Russia as an example, because it's not been long I came back from Russia. Everything I knew about Russia before I traveled to Russia was that they are gangsters, they are criminals, they are bad guys, they are drugs, they are narcotics, they are terrorists. That's the only thing I know. Guess where I learned it from? American films.
Exactly.
That was a deliberate, calculated propaganda. Trust me, one of the finest countries to be in this world is Russia. When you go there, experience the people. Now, do you know what the Russian government is currently doing? They flew people from 53 countries. I was among the representatives of Nigeria. We are 4 from Nigeria. From 53 countries of the world, people that are filmmakers, to what they call the Euro-Asia Film Festival. When we got there, the idea was to make us experience Russia and then come back with a different story. Imagine if Nigerians can host a film festival and bring in 52 African countries rep into Nigeria to come and experience Nigeria and then go back and tell. That is the job of the government. Exactly. That's my experience with Russia. So now I'm talking to people, I might even be back in September, I'm talking to people now on a different light about what I now understand about there. Meanwhile, before I went, this was the concept I have. So as a filmmaker, my job really is to entertain you. Because if I don't entertain you, you will not buy my ticket. People go to Film One Cinema to buy tickets to watch film. In fact, on YouTube now, where you watch free films, you watch 5 minutes of that film. Did you know they're interesting? Something that somebody spent millions to do, and you are not paying for it. You scroll past and go to the next one. So everybody is looking for what they can do to entertain you so that you can stay longer. So if we now remove that element, because entertainment really is about looking for what excites people. If we remove that element, because there's no moralistic story, 100%, without the bad guys in it, or without those bad projections that really captivate. So, just so that we're not talking too long, please, my job is to entertain you. Any day I'm able to entertain you and you pay me, my job is done. Being intentional here, for me, is being intentional enough that my film entertains you. If you find morality inside it, God bless all of us.
All right, Brother Francis, any last word for your students?
Thank you so much. Well, my own was a class on cartooning, from sketchpad to the cinema. All of you believe and you know that today, among our young ones, cartoon animation is the in thing everywhere. Am I right? So we're able to look at the beginning of that film you watch on, animated film you watch on television. The beginning, how it all began. You know, first of all, like we have established here, everything begins with a good idea. Have a good idea. What story do I want to tell? That is where it begins. And then learn the rudiments, the principles, the elements of a good storytelling. And they have to put it down graphically in pictures. And we try to let them know, my young ones, because my class was made up of mainly of young people, that every film you watch, most films you watch, start with a cartoon, or what we call a storyboard. You know, those storyboard is what helps the director, the film producers, to do their work easily and without spending too much money, and to help the actors know exactly what the story is all about without too much stress. So the work of the cartoonist is to make their work simple by putting everything in pictures and in solid images that tell story in a very unique and exciting manner. Then when I discovered that some persons came to the class thinking that it was animation. So we now explain to them that animation is a different issue entirely. Whenever you hear cartoon, don't think of animation first, because the word cartoon is actually a picture, a funny and interesting image that tells a story and passes a message. When you now pass that artwork through the process of tech, it begins to move. It begins to move. When you give it movement and voice, it becomes animated. So at the end of the day, we had some practical classes, and our students learned how to do the cartoons, how to tell short stories. And now we shared ourselves into 2 groups with 2 projects that we're going to realize into short animated film in the next 3 months. That's where we are right now. So we have learned how to do the cartoons. We are now going to learn how to animate it and produce it for people to watch. Maybe a 1-minute short cartoon animation. So, and it was a beautiful class. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, sir. We've just heard from the facilitators. I want to thank them on behalf of African Canadian International Film Festival for devoting their time to be with us. These are very busy persons. I know what it takes us or cost us to have some of them here. I had to drag my president, and God now helped me. What would have taken him out of Benin was postponed the moment he touched Benin. Our Inika, our ancestors, ensured that the program was postponed, and I thank them for that. But all the same, I thank my president, Brother Uche Agbo, for being with us. It's a very long, lovely time with him. Same thing goes to my brother, Mr. Stanley Robosa, a very busy person. I hope you guys heard he said he's a farmer. Truly he is. So most times, if he's not on location working, he's busy in his farm. So, and I told him, I said, please, I beg, how are you going to do that? Because when rain they fall, that might going to think of, say, oh, this one don't grow now, this one. So luckily, he was here all through today. Thank you, Mr. Robosa, for coming. And I also want to thank my brother here, Mr. Francis. Please, students, we'll take photo now together. Just be coming to the stage so that we can take photo with you people. The students, only students. Let's take photo with you people right now before you leave. Just come to the stage now. So I want to thank Mr. Francis Odupute for his time and devotion to the African Canadian International Film Festival. I also want to thank Mr. Patrick Adaka for holding brief for the facilitator on screen writing. And I also want to thank you all for your time, because time is money. And we know what that means for you to devote your time from on the 4th to today. And for the award gala night holding tomorrow,
all the persons who submitted their films for screening would be given invitation to be there to see if any of their films was nominated or won any award. And for those that also sending their film from other countries, they will hook up via our live streaming to be able to join us and know if any of their film won an award. And I want to thank you all for coming. May God bless us all. Thank you and God bless us. So we have declared this session closed. Thank you.